Okay, for the first one, I will not repeat this one because it's straightforward. So for question number two, you can say an accounting system is a process businesses use to track, record, and report financial transactions. So examples of what must be captured include the income, expenses, assets, as well as liabilities. Okay, so because that one is only for 4 marks, as you can see, I gave a definition of what an accounting system is, and then you can give 3 or 4 examples of what can be included in an accounting system so that you can be able to score the full 4 marks. And then for question number three, so for question number three, it's an attachment. It says attach a copy of a trial balance. Okay. So when you attach, guys, because there's some people, oh, now I remember. The issue was with the system at the college. The person was saying they couldn't attach something due to the system in the college, but she needed access from her superiors to be able to use her computer to attach. So I almost demonstrated how to attach a document here, but then because I understood that it's something that is internal, I will not explain that because I noticed also that almost all of you were able to attach any documents that were required for you to attach. So I do understand on that part. Okay, excuse me a little bit. Okay, cool. I thought I had a message on the chat. Okay, so here you just attach a trial balance. Any trial balance, it doesn't have to be from your organization. You don't need any authority from the college. You can just make an example of any trial balance and attach it there as an example of what a trial balance looks like. Okay, so you don't need to maybe access a trial balance from the college. So moving on to the next question, which is question number 4. It says, why must source documentation be kept after capturing and for how long? And then that is question number 4. So you can say source documents like invoices or receipts must be kept for number 1, proof of transactions, for audits or legal purposes. And then number 2, you can say to meet legal requirements. So in South Africa, guys, documents must be kept for at least 5 years to comply with SARS, or the South African Revenue Services regulations. Okay, so that type of an answer is going to score you the full marks. You can maybe at least elaborate a bit further on such an answer for you to be able to score maximum marks. So moving on to the next question, as you can see, this formative is not that long. It's about 7 pages. We are already on page number 3. So hopefully I will not waste too much of your guys' time with this session. So question number 5 says, why must all monthly income and expenses accounts be reviewed, and give examples of what you would look for when reviewing? Okay, so monthly reviews ensure financial accuracy and control. So examples of what to look for include things like unusual transactions. An example would be a sudden rise in expenses. Point number 2, you can say missed entries. An example of that is unrecorded sales. And then number 3, you can include things like errors. So an example of that would be incorrect amounts recorded in accounts. Okay, so that's the type of answer I'm looking for there. But like I said, when you copy a question like this, you paste it on wherever where you get your information, whichever site, whether it's Google, whether it's artificial intelligence, you'll be able to get the answer that you are looking for these type of questions, because they are relatively simple. You don't need to edit them or anything like that. They are just straightforward. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, which is question number 6. Question number 6 says, list the accounts that must be reconciled. So you can put things like bank accounts. So you can say for bank accounts to match bank statements with cash records. Okay, you can also say accounts payable. Number 3, accounts receivable, inventories, as well as petty cash. Okay, and then you can maybe elaborate on those a little bit here and there. But even if maybe you just list them as they are with no elaboration, because the question says list, then you'll get the full marks for that. And then the next question, which is question number 7. So question number 7 is also an attachment. So it says attach a copy of journal entries such as accruals, prepayments, and depreciation. Okay, so you can look for uh, those journal entries, all 3 of them, attach them so that you can be able to get the full 10 marks. Because you can see here, they are looking for 3 examples of journal entries, which are accruals, prepayments, and depreciation journal entries. So you can just find any examples on the website for these 3 journal entries, and then you paste them right there, one after the other. Okay, and then you'll be done with that question. So no need to delve much into that. And then for question number 8, says discuss why the budget must be captured into the accounting system. So budgets, guys, must be captured to number 1, monitor actual performance against planned figures. You can say control costs by comparing actual spending to the budget. And then number 3, you can include things like support decision making by highlighting areas where expenses or income differ from projections. Okay, so for example, if a South African retail company overspends on stock, capturing this in the budget will alert management to take corrective action. Okay, so I'm not saying obviously you must include such an example, but I was just making you guys aware of what we are talking about when we are discussing capturing accounting systems, or why the budget must be captured into an accounting system. Okay, so with that being said, I think that one is also relatively simple. So moving on to the next question, which is number 9, it says identify and attach the 3 main reports that must be compiled in any business. Okay, so the 3 main reports that must be compiled in any business, we all know that it's an income statement, a balance sheet, as well as a cash flow statement. Okay, so you can attach those 3 reports for you to be able to get maximum marks. So just a simple income statement, a 1 or a half page income statement, as well as a balance sheet, as well as a cash flow statement. Okay, for you to be able to get marks on that. So that one is also simple. Moving on to the next question, it says list the 4 specific reports that need to be compiled on a regular basis for control purposes. So the 3 main reports that need to be compiled are the sales report, the expense report, the inventory report, and the bank reconciliation report. Okay, so if you have listed them, and maybe you can elaborate on them, or maybe mention their purposes in a business or an organization, and then you will be able to get the full 10 marks for that. Because when you don't just list them here, but maybe you can just elaborate on them, because the question is worth 10 marks. Okay, so before I move on to question number 11, maybe I should ask if maybe there's anyone who has a question, any suggestion. If we are still all good, still all on the same page, maybe I can see a thumbs up so that I can finish up with the formative, and then we can go on to the summative assessment. Like I said, I don't know, it's too much of your time. SP3 is quite simple. It's just accounting theories. So can I just see a thumbs up if we are all good? If maybe there's a question, there's a question maybe you need me to go back to. Thank you, Tamaga. Are we still all good? Are we still on the same page? Okay. Thank you for that. So with that being said, guys, Let's move on now to the next question. Remember that most of these questions that have been pointed out here, the answers are also on the study guide, okay? But obviously not the attachments. The attachments you need to find on your own, and then you can just attach them here. So when you attach, you just do this, you go to any browser, and then you just attach, okay? So it's as simple as that. Maybe if I can do one example, let's do an example with this one. I've just copied it. Okay, let me do it, because you can't copy it manually on here. You must say CTRL Control C, right? So like that. Sorry. And then I go to, let's use ChatGPT, or let's use ChatGPT. So I'll just paste my question here, and then I'll paste it there. You see ChatGPT, I need the actual images. Okay, as you can see here, they've given me the images, but they put it in one image. So here I can download the image as I've downloaded it. So I will look for the downloaded image. Okay, maybe ChatGPT wasn't the best option for us to choose for this question. Let's use Google rather. So whenever you, maybe like this one, you see this is a report of an executive summary. You just go to it like this. You copy the image, come here, you paste the image. As you can see, I pasted the first one, and then the second one, you can paste it right there, as well as the third one. Okay, so you just do it as simple as that, guys. Whenever you are pasting or attaching your reports, or whichever attachment that you choose, you just go on your search browser, the one that you choose, and then you just attach an example of the report or whatever that is being asked of you. Okay, so it becomes as simple as that. I'm sorry about my voice, guys. It's a bit shaky. So let's just quickly move on to question number 11. So what documents must be compared in order to highlight variances? Why must variances be investigated? So an answer you can put here is like documents like budget versus actual reports and bank statements versus cash records are compared to highlight variances. Investigating variances is important to number one, correct errors, example, missed transactions, and then number two, understand the causes of overspending or underspending. So, for instance, a South African business might notice higher fuel expenses and investigate reasons such as fuel price increases. Okay, so that's the type of answer I'm looking for here, so that you are able to get the full maximum 10 marks. Okay, obviously you can elaborate on what I've said. I was just giving you guys an example of the type of answer that is needed for this one. So now we are moving to module 3.2, which says record and process workplace transactions. So question number 12 says, identify the various source documents relating to workplace transactions and explain their purpose. Okay, so the examples of source documents include invoices, receipts, purchase orders, as well as credit notes. Okay, and then you can elaborate on those. For example, you can say invoices are proof of goods or services sold, receipts are proof of payment received, purchase orders authorizes a purchase. What else? Credit notes, they corrects a mistake in an invoice. Okay, so these documents help track and verify business transactions. Okay, and then as well as question number 13. So for question number 13, I'm just looking for something. So for question number 13, let's go to question number 13 about that. It says discuss the procedures for processing invoices, credit notes, and debit note transactions in your company. That one is straightforward. Don't think there's need for me to explain that further. The even question number 14, discuss value added tax, discuss what VAT is. I'm sure that one is going to be relatively simple again. Um, and then number 15 says, discuss the effect of the transaction on stock figures using examples. So here you must discuss the effect of stock figures and then give examples. Maybe you can discuss one or two effects of stock figures and then also give an example for each. Okay, so I think that one is relatively straightforward again, because I don't want to waste too much of your time, guys. Number 16 says, what parts of the transaction are very important to record on each document? Okay, so what parts of the transaction are very important to record on each document? So for this one, I think this one is a follow-up question to question number 15. So after discussing the effect of the transaction on stock figures, and then you must we must discuss which part of the transactions are very important on each document. So if you have pointed out two effects of the transaction on stock figures, here you must also put out two parts of the transactions that are very important on that particular document. Okay. So question number 17 says identify the various documents used in stock transactions. Okay, that one is also straightforward. List the reports that need to be compiled when dealing with company transactions. Discuss why you need these reports in business. Okay, so you must list the reports here, like the sales reports or the inventory reports or the bank reconciliation report, and then you must discuss why you need these reports in a business. Then question number 19 says, describe the process for capturing and fulfilling orders in your company, including how you deal with bank or back orders, rather. Okay, so you must discuss, or you must rather describe here the process for capturing and also fulfilling orders in your company. So when they say in your company, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the college. You can maybe create an imaginary company. I'd like to use an example for women. I'd like to say maybe a hair salon, because it's going to be very simple for you to even understand the examples that are going to be given there. So for men, maybe you can say a property or a retail company or a fuel station whatever type of company that you think of, manufacturing industry, whatever, any example of an imaginary company. When they say in your own company, so you must just create any imaginary company, and then you must just include these processes for capturing or fulfilling orders in your company. So for example, if you are a female and you've chosen my idea of a hair salon, so you can discuss how you capture your stock orders, and how you also deal with back orders. So you can say maybe you make sure that the staff keeps a record keeping for any stock that has been assigned to them, or any stock that has been placed for orders, and then also keep in contact with the suppliers at all times, maybe a day or two before they need to deliver. Okay, so you make sure that you fulfill the orders in your company, as well as how you deal with back orders as well. Maybe that hair salon is also selling hair products, stuff like that. So you make sure that you deal with back orders by keeping record of the people that need to come and collect at all times, and you keep a book. You have a bookkeeping type of a process or recording for making sure that people are always satisfied when it comes to their orders being met at the right time. Okay, so that's just an example of that one. So I was fully explaining that one because it says in your own company. So make sure that you just create an imaginary company for this type of a question. Okay, and then you answer accordingly. And then question number 20 says, attach a copy of various journal entries. Okay, so I think this one is also repeating itself a little bit. So that one is going to be quite simple because it's journal entries here. So it's going to be quite easy to attach these journal entries. So you just attach a copy of various journal entries, maybe three of them. Maybe you can say a bank statement, receipts, any journal entry. You just attach three of them or two of them. Okay, as long as they are detailed enough, you'll be able to get the full 5 marks. And then question number 21 says, highlight that on the above journal. So the above journals that you are going to be attaching for question number 20, make sure that these journal entries include VAT on them. So for this question here, you are going to be scored if these journal entries on question number 20 have VAT, and then you highlight the VAT on those journal entries. Okay, just make sure after maybe after attaching those two or three journal entries, you just highlight where it's written VAT, or you can highlight VAT as well as the number on the VAT, or the VAT amount that is being charged on that particular journal entry. So you may choose any journal entry on the internet, attach it here, and then highlight that on the journal entry. Okay, so here you don't need to write anything because I'll be the one writing the comment saying that seen. That means I would have seen that you have highlighted that on the above journal entry. Okay, so here you don't need to write anything. You don't need to paste the journal entries twice. You just highlight it here. I think that is clear enough. Okay, and then the next question. Question number 22 says, why is it important to correctly capture features such as date, value in the general ledger account? Okay, straightforward. Let's not waste too much time on that. We all know the importance of capturing information correctly in ledger accounts. Let me just quickly accept Mrs. Kile. Number 23 says, discuss the impact financial and stock transactions have on the general ledger and reporting in your company. Okay, so like I said, imaginary company that you have created. So then here you must just highlight the impact the financial and transactions have on the general ledger in your company. Okay, so whichever company you had chosen in the previous question, you can still use that same example, or you can still choose another example for this type of an answer, and then you just type in your answer there of why it's important or what is the impact the financial and stock transactions have on the general ledger in your company or organization. You can still use the college if you feel like it. If maybe you know more knowledge regarding the college, I will obviously still mark you correctly if that's the organization or company you choose to go with. But I was thinking that for accounting things and the theoretical part of accounting, it's going to be quite simple if you choose an imaginary company. Or if you already have a company that you own, then you can use that and as an example. I think that's going to be perfect. So when we go to the last question, question number 24 on the formative assessment, it says discuss the role and importance of complete and accurate record keeping. That is straightforward again. No need for us to delve much into that one. It's very simple. We all know the importance to complete and accurate record keeping. Okay, so that is all for the formative assessment. So before I move on to the summative assessment, may I ask, is there anyone who still needs more clarity in any question? Maybe you'd like me to go back to a certain attachment, any question? If we are all good, can I see a thumbs up so that we can quickly go on to the summative assessment as well as the workplace activities? Okay, I think we are still all good on that note. So may we kindly go to the summative assessment then. As you can see, guys, I didn't just automatically open them so that when you get into a meeting, they are already there. I wanted to open them in front of you. As you can see, we are now in the summative assessment. Okay, in the summative assessment again, guys, always, guys, remember to include your details here, personal details. So the summative assessment is also very short, 10 pages. So question number 1 says, discuss what is meant by a double entry accounting system. Remember, some of the questions are going to be looking like repetitive because the summative assessment is a reflection of your understanding of the formative assessment, right, together with the workplace activities. Okay, so that being said, discuss what is meant by a double entry accounting system. So the double entry accounting system means that for every transaction, there are two entries made in the accounts. Okay, one entry is a debit, and then the other entry is a credit. Then you can elaborate on such. Okay, no need to spend much time on that. Question number 2, why should the budget figure be inputted into the financial records? So inputting the budget figure into financial records helps monitor actual versus planned performance by comparing real spending or income against the budget, cost control, as well as to support better decision making. Okay, and then okay, sorry, there's a message on the group. Oh, okay, it was Kilebukile. I think Kilebukile has just joined us now. She was asking for the link and Tembi had already sent it. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So the next question we were busy with was question number, why should the budget figure be inputted? Okay, we've discussed that one for 5 marks. And then question number 3 says, attach a copy of a detailed trial balance, which is for 10 marks. So you must attach a copy of a detailed trial balance here, which is come here. and then you paste it there, right? And just paste it using it like that. Say you've copied it from any Google browser like this, and then you come here, and then you just paste your trial balance here. Okay, simple as that. You paste it right there. You don't paste it at the bottom of the assessment. You paste it on the question. That's why I was saying, even for the workplace activities, I prefer it like that. But then I do understand when you paste your workplace activities at the end of the questions. But I will show you how I prefer them so that they align easily with the questions. So, question number four. Question number four says, um, discuss the reasons for reconciling the various accounts. What are the consequences of not doing so? Okay, so here you must just discuss the reasons for reconciling the various accounts, and then you must also discuss the consequences if you don't do that. Okay, and then question number five, attachments again. Attach a copy of the following documents: an income statement, a balance sheet, as well as a cash flow statement. So you just uh, copy this, or you can type it there on your browser, an income statement, you paste it there. It doesn't, now this one doesn't have to be about your company, the imaginary company that I was talking about. You can just get any example of an income statement. I prefer it obviously to be in rands, a South African income statement, because when you go on Google search and you just type an income statement, most of them are going to come in dollars or in American type of an income statement. So I prefer a South African income statement so that we are all able to read it and understand it properly. And that doesn't come in dollars, but rather in rands. So as well as a balance sheet and a cash flow statement. So it's 3 marks for each. I mean, it's 5 marks for each, which totals 15 marks. And then here, question number 6, discuss the following terms: a debtors analysis as well as a creditors analysis. Okay, so I don't need to delve much into that. That's just definitions. It's easy to get definitions. So question number 7 is also an attachment. Attach a copy of the following documents: an invoice, credit note, and debit note. As you can see, this summative is full of attachments. So here I'm going to be having 3 attachments again. So you attach one an invoice. After that invoice, you attach a credit note. After a credit note, you attach a debit note. And it's going to be also simple, guys, if you label the documents accordingly. Maybe on the invoice, on top of the invoice, it's written an invoice, so that I know this one is an invoice, this one is a credit note, and this one is a debit note. Okay, for marking purposes also, it's going to be quite simple for me to identify that you have attached all documents, and then I'll be able to score you the full marks. So for question number 8, it says discuss value added text and highlight this in a different color on your 3 attachments above. Same thing that happened on the other, on the formative assessment. So here you just give a definition. Here you just give a definition of value added text, and then you must highlight VAT or VAT on these attachments on question number 7. So on your invoice, the invoice that you are going to be attaching here should have text on it, as well as the credit note and the debit note. And then you highlight text where it says VAT, as well as the figure that is written for VAT. You just highlight it, or make just that one line type of a highlight, so that I'm able to see that you have highlighted text or VAT on these 3 documents above. So for question number 8, you just give a definition of what value added text is, and then you leave it like that if you already have highlighted it here. Okay, so you just yeah. Okay, I thought someone wanted to say something. So moving on to question number 9. Question number 9 says, uh, describe how you deal with goods received notes and debit notes or other proof of delivery in your organization. So remember, when it says in your organization, you may choose to go with the college, or you may choose to go with the imaginary company that we were talking about previously on the formative assessment. Will still be marked correctly as long as you are sticking to what the question is asking, which is how, or describe how you deal with goods received notes and debit notes or other proof of delivery in your organization. Okay, so for this one again, I would rather prefer an imaginary company because it's going to be quite easy for you to get those answers. Okay, because remember, I can see that there is not much time on your hands, especially that now we are going towards November, and the colleges are going to be going through exams and stuff like that and assessments. So I know that you guys don't have much time. So make sure when it says in your organization, just use that imaginary company, and then you paste that type of a question on any browser. You'll be able to get those answers very easily. Okay, so question number 10 says, discuss the term stock transfer and describe how this is dealt with in your organization. Okay, so if you have chosen a hair salon, you can say how to deal with stock transfers in any type of setting, or rather, what is stock transfers and how to deal with them in a hair salon business. When you search that on any browser, you'll get an answer, and then you paste the answer here, which is going to be worth 5 marks. Make sure you don't paste something that's too long. As long as it's just sticking to an answer, you can just paste it here for you to get those 4 marks. Okay, and then moving on to question number 11, it says, attach a journal entry showing any transactions not based on invoices, credit notes, or debit notes. Okay, so here you must attach a journal entry, but that is not based on invoices, credit notes, as well as debit notes. Maybe you can attach a journal entry, maybe that's dealing with maybe cash flows or whatever the case may be, just not invoice, credit notes, or debit notes. Okay, and then when we move on to the next question, question number 12, why must the above mentioned documents be retained? So this document, question number 11, the document that you are going to be attaching, you must also, on question number 12, you must just mention why must that document be retained? Why should the company keep such a document, okay, in their filing system or whatever it may be? Okay, and then question number 13 says, list and describe the various reports that should be compiled to show transactions within an organization. So for this one, it's also straightforward. You must just list and describe various reports that should be compiled to show transactions within an organization. So I think we discussed a couple of reports before. Not sure if we were talking about invoices. Rather, we were talking about sales report, inventory report, bank reconciliation reports. You see those type of reports. So you must just list and describe such reports, and also compile. Rather, that should be compiled to show transactions within an organization. So you can list maybe 4 or 5 reports that need to be included in an organization for their transactions. Okay, so just 5 or 4 reports, I think for that you'll be getting maximum results. And then question number 14 says, explain how individual transactions are accumulated and eventually influence the financial reports of a selected organization. Okay, quite simple that one as well. That question, you copy it, paste it on your browser, you'll be able to get um, the results for this question. Only for 5 marks, it's nothing difficult, just basic. So you just copy it as it is, and then you paste it on any browser. So now we go on to the workplace activities. So for workplace activities, what I would prefer, guys, I understand that you guys usually put your workplace activities down here and you also label them. That's one thing I like as well, that you label your workplace activities, but they would be much rather be simpler if you paste them right on the box. Because if you would take, even if it's a big document, if you take it and paste it here, it's going to remain on this box. As well as for this evidence number 2, the workplace activity number 2, if you copy it and paste it right here, it's going to remain on that box. Even if that box stretches out, it doesn't matter as long as it's part of that, so that when I mark it, I can even score you right here whether that attachment is competent or not yet competent, as you can see the outcome. So, for example, evidence number 1 says attach your workplace or department budget plan and the outcome of how it was utilized.
Hold on. Good afternoon, colleagues. On my side, I can't hear anything. So I want to know I'm the only one. Okanye, facilitator is muted.
Good afternoon,
Thank you.
colleague. Me as well. Me as well. Nothing on my side.
Okay, can you guys hear me? I've been asking if I'm audible enough.
Oh, yes, you are now.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes, I
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you so much. Okay, I was just discussing the workplace activities. Maybe you guys couldn't hear me ever since I started discussing the workplace activities. I'm not sure, but then I was just discussing the fact that it's going to be easier if you guys, or it's going to be much suitable if you guys would paste your workplace activities on the boxes that are provided here. I know that you guys usually put in your workplace activities, or you rather paste them here at the bottom. I do understand, and I do acknowledge the fact that you also label which workplace activity it is, so that it becomes easier for me to mark it. You guys do say workplace activity number 1, and then you just paste it there on the bottom, so on and so forth. But then it's also going to be much suitable if you paste it on the boxes that is provided here, so that I can grade it right here on this grading box, which says competent or not yet competent. Okay, so for example, for workplace activity number 1, as you can see, I'm in workplace activities. So for workplace activity number 1, it says attach your workplace department budget plan and the outcome of how it was utilized. You can paste that attachment here. And then when it says attach your workplace or department budget, it doesn't have to be the college. You can create an imaginary company or any budget plan of any other company of your choice that you have copied and pasted from any browser of your choice. Okay, I'm not restricting you on the college budget plan or a budget plan that you have to think of using an imaginary company. You can just go on any site and attach that budget plan here. But just one thing, when it comes to budget plans, cash flow statements, all these journal entries that are required on this assessment, just try to make sure that they are all in rands. So in other words, they are all South African journal entries. Okay, I don't like, or it doesn't rather look realistic enough when we attach budget plans that are in dollars or are in pounds or yens or whatever the case may be. So make sure that whatever journal entries that you attach, they are in rands, please. Okay, I'm not saying obviously I'm going to score you less marks when they are not in rands, but I'm sure you do get my point. So anyway, try to make sure that you attach your attachments here. So for example, number 2, it needs 3 attachments, which is the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. Okay, any 3 examples of these journal entries. So just make sure that you attach these journal entries right here. I'm not saying if you feel like attaching them down here, I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but I would rather prefer them to be attached here so that you can see the grading or the scoring of your workplace activity right next to it. Okay, so they are all going to fit here as long as you attach them inside this box. They are all going to fit here, all 3 of them. Obviously the box is going to extend because maybe that attachment or those 3 attachments are going to be big. Obviously it's going to extend, but for this one the space is still going to be available for workplace activity number 3 for you to be able to attach that workplace activity right here. Okay, so for this one, like I said, it's an income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. Any, doesn't have to be from your own imaginary company or from the college itself. Any, as long as it's an income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. Okay, so with that being said, number 3, you must attach a process to deal with stock transfers to ensure that stock counts remain accurate. Okay, so you must attach a process that deals with stock transfers right on this box here. So here you can choose an imaginary company, you can choose the college itself, because the college also deals with stock. I know there is stationery that is always utilized in the college and you're always purchasing stock. So you may also just copy this question on your browser and say in a college setting in South Africa. Okay, and then maybe that browser is going to dish out for you a process that deals with stock transfers in a college. Okay, how you order stock and how you keep track of that stock that you have ordered. Okay, so just a simple process of tracking your stock inventory right here. Okay, so number 4, I'd already explained this. I'm just repeating because I wasn't audible for this part. So number 4, it says prepare and input journal entries. So 2 inputs that you have done. Okay, so any 2 journal entries that you can think of, you must just include them there on that space that is provided. So any journal entries, it can be your credit notes, can be your invoices, can be your receipts, or what else, purchase orders, anything, just include 2 of them there. Okay, so that being said, sorry, I was just accepting someone. We are almost done, guys. Number 5, it says prepare goods received vouchers and debit notes or other proof of delivery required by the procedure in your workplace. And then you must attach one attachment here. So one attachment that deals with the preparing of goods received vouchers. So this question, guys, you can just copy it like this: prepared good received vouchers and debit notes, just like that. Okay, because it's broken down into 2. You see, you can rather attach prepare goods received vouchers and debit notes or other proof of delivery required by the procedure in your workplace. That's why they say attach one, because here they've given us 2 examples. So you choose which one you want to use and then get that attachment right on that space that is provided. So I think the first one would be much simpler, because goods received vouchers process is always easy to get on the internet, especially if you can just copy the question, paste it on your browser and say in a college setting, and then it's gonna give you those goods received vouchers or debit notes procedures. It can give you that document very easily. So you copy that document and then you paste it right on this space that is provided here. Okay, and then also remember, as we go down, you see here they've given a space for the evidence here, because we know that people rather use this space. But like I said, I would also prefer you guys to attach your documents right here in the spaces that is provided for the attachment. Okay, so remember also the last part is the logbook. Always make sure you fill in your logbook, guys. Make sure you fill in your logbook whenever you are starting with your formative assessment. Write the date here, write the formative assessment question 1 up to 10, when you started with those question 1 up to 10, maybe at 9 until 2, and then you write your total hours that you spent between 9 and 2. I think it's 5 hours, so you just write 5 hours here. Here you write 9 a.m., which is the start. At the finish, you write 2 p.m. Total hours, you write 5 hours. Okay, same thing when you carry on the following date, you just write that date here. It doesn't have to be the following day, it can be 3 days, 5 days later. You just write the date here, then you write the hours here. Like I said, the total hours, the tip or the advice that I can give you for the total hours spent, make sure you just write 3, 4 hours or more. Okay, don't write less than 3 or 4 hours, just write 3 or 4 hours more that you have spent here. Even if you know that you only spent an hour working on a certain something, but just write 3 or 4 hours, so that when it's time for us to go and request those certificates. Whenever they look at your logbook, they can see that you have spent the enough notional hours for you to be able to receive that certificate. Okay, so with that being said, guys, this is the end of our session. At least I spent 1 hour 15 minutes or so. So may I ask, is there anyone who has any question, anyone who has any feedback, anything maybe you'd like me to clarify on? The platform is yours. Or if we are all good, if we all understood, if we are all set, then can I just see that by a show of a thumbs up so that I know that we are all on the same page. I see Mrs. Marshalini Kopman. Your hand is up, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you can go ahead with your question.
Good day, sir. Good day, colleagues.
Good day, ma'am.
Sir, I've asked you on the WhatsApp that I have deleted a question by mistake whilst I was struggling. So it is question 2.1.7 in the formatives. I don't know what the question is. And even if I just can get the question, then I can put in my answer because I don't know how much marks it is and I don't want to lose those marks.
You said it's
I've
on the
tried
formative
to-
assessment, right?
Yes, I've tried to retrieve the question, but I don't know how to do it and I don't know what the question is about. Whilst I was struggling when doing it, I maybe deleted or I don't know what I did, but I lost the whole question.
Okay. 2.1.7. Okay, so it's an attachment. As you can see, I've opened 2.1.7 formative 2. It says design and attach, or rather I will take a picture and then I'll send it to you on your WhatsApp so that you can paste that attachment. And it's a good thing that it's just an attachment, so you can just easily go through that and then just attach it on the space for 2.1.7. Okay.
Thank you very, very much, sir.
Not a problem, ma'am. I've already done that. I've sent it on your WhatsApp. Okay.
I received it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anybody else maybe who still needs more clarity in anything? Or are we all good? I saw Nosipho Zulu's thumbs up saying that she's okay. Okay, I see admin. Admin, I see your hand is up. You may go ahead, sir.
Good day, sir. I want to make a follow up on my results, sir.
What's your name, sir? Because here it's written admin, so I'm not sure about your actual name.
Oh, Maluleke, Mr. Maluleke. Warren Buso, yes. My email is Warren Buso.
Warren Buso. Oh, okay, sir. No. We were just communicating just before the session started. No, sir.
Yes.
Yes, I'm very much aware. You said you send me via email. So the people that haven't received their results, according to my notes here. Sorry, guys. I was going to show you here on the grading system, but it's not going to be fair for the others to see other people's grades. But then I know that Mr. Warren Mbuso, there's Nwari Mrwadi, there's Siantla, and Magdalene Mochuaro. So those are the 4 people that I haven't marked fully. Those are the only 4 people I haven't marked. The rest of the people, I think they've received their results for both the formative and the summative. So it's Mr. Siantla, Magdalene Mochuaro, Nwari Mrwadi, and Mr. Warren Mbuso. So I'm thinking that those people probably sent me their results via my email. I just need to locate which email they used, because it's not only the 4 of you that send me your work via your emails. I can also confirm that Mr. Chupolong also sent me his work via the email, but then I was able to retrieve that because I could see like the email address was easy for me to locate. So if I don't know the email address that you sent me your work, it's quite difficult for me to locate it. So if maybe those who haven't received their results, they can just type their email, the email address that they used for sending me the email, so that I can search their emails there on the search box, and then I can be able to get their emails. Because Gilebohile Muder also sent me via my email, but I was able to get her work. Lindiwe Yunus also sent me via her email. Mamu Haum Kubeni, Nosipho Zulu, and Mr. Patrick Chupolonga as well. So I was able to receive all those people's assessment, even though they sent it via their email, because I could get their email addresses easily. So if I haven't marked your work, like Mr. Mbuso Warren, kindly just send me your email address that you used for sending me the email, and then I'll just be able to search it, and then I'll mark your work quickly.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Is there anybody else maybe who still needs anything so that we can go through? Are we all good? Are we all sorted? Are we all clear? Okay, I think we are all clear. So I'll be waiting for your submissions, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for taking your time, for being part of this session. So we'll communicate as normal via WhatsApp whenever there's anything to communicate about, and then we will see each other in the next session. So as your assessments come through, I'll be marking as I always do. Thank you so much, guys, for everything. Thank you for your cooperation. So enjoy the rest of the day, enjoy the weekend, guys. Stay safe, and we'll talk again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day, colleagues. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Ivan. Miles. Go charge, please. That's all right.